Good Health by Claudia, podcast with me, Denny Schaefer, a production of Denny Radio. This is episode 44. Woo! Today we're going to talk about
44.
forever chemicals,
Yeah,
PFAS, and so much other things.
right.
But first, this information contained in these podcasts is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or health condition. Please consult a qualified healthcare professional if you do have a medical condition. The FDA has not evaluated the information on this podcast, which represents the opinions of the hosts and our guests. And this week, it's Denny and Claudia. Claudia,
Yeah.
good to see you as always.
Hi, Denny. Good to see you.
So forever chemicals sounds like, forever. And chemicals, it kind of scares me when I hear forever chemicals. I've never heard of forever chemicals before. Has it always been around, this term, or is it a new term? And should people wake up to what this is and what it's doing to our health?
Well, definitely people need to wake up at what it's doing for their. That's why we talk about this every single day at the store for years. It's part of the education to help people understand why they possibly are dealing with all these different imbalances. So it's an important conversation, in my opinion. It's a big piece of the puzzle because we're living in modern times. And modern times we're surrounded with toxins. So the more that we can learn to understand why they're there, how they're coming into our life, and where our power is to help reduce them, to me, that's a very critically important conversation. So the term forever chemicals, you're seeing that more now. As more people, there's more research coming out, more people are getting involved in understanding petrochemicals and all these things that are being created, but they never go away. This is the problem. And they're insulting the environment and all of us living in it. And it's a shame because these chemicals, there's thousands of products being made from derivatives of petroleum. Thousands. People just don't realize it. They're in the food, they're in the water, they're on clothing, they're, all these, they're the chemicals that they're using in construction and, pesticides. There's thousands of these chemicals. They're just deriving them differently and putting them in different things. So, for instance, phthalates. Phthalates are big. This is what they're making a lot of the synthetic fragrances from. So there's millions of people putting commercial perfume and cologne on them, on their skin, on their clothing. They're breathing it in all day long. Well, we know that phthalates are linked to very serious issues once these chemicals are in the body. There's phthalates, there's BPA. A lot of people know BPA because they're buying BPA-free plastic water jugs. So bisphenol A, BPA, we know that this is another derivative that's leaching into the water. It's leaching into, a lot of these things are packaged. The food, the whatever it might be, and these chemicals are leaching into the water, into the drinks, into the food. Plus, they're being used in a lot of the industry food. So you have phthalates, BPA, perchlorate. That is fuel. That is jet fuel. And it's coming from fireworks, it's coming from all these different things. We know that it's in, they're doing a lot of testing, especially with babies and umbilical cords, and they're finding that babies in this day and age, there's already over 200 toxic chemicals in the umbilical cord of newborn babies. So
Wow.
Here's the issue with these chemicals. They really came from, many of them their development came from World War II. And after the war, then of course, all these products were coming into the marketplace, pesticides and whatever, all these different things that they were doing. And so over the years, there's more and more chemicals coming into our everyday life. They're everywhere. People don't realize, I have customers that can't walk into some of the department stores in the clothing area because the off-gassing in some of the products will hit them. They'll get a headache. They'll feel nauseated. I hear this. We have a lot of customers over the years that, they walk down the store for the laundry detergent in the grocery aisle. They can't handle walking down the aisle. They get nauseated, headachy. Some people get, there's all these different symptoms that can kick up. So these forever chemicals, they're being derived mainly from petroleum, and some are coming from natural gas. And of course, during coal tar dyes were developed back in the 1800s. So they've been around. A lot of these artificial things have been around, but they've become more abundant, if you will, as time goes on, because they're in everything. So you've got perfumes, colognes, hairspray, shampoos. People are learning about parabens. Most commercial shampoos and conditioners have parabens. These are all petrol-based toxins. So here's the problem. Once they're created, they don't go away. That's why people are calling them forever toxins. They're storing in all of us. They're storing in humans. They're storing in animals. They're storing in, that's where a lot of some of the initial research came from. I have to talk about, just for a moment, Rachel Carson. Rachel Carson, I left the original book at the store, which I wanted to show it. But Rachel Carson, this is a book about her. Great book. And she wrote, her original book was in 1962, I believe it was published. Joe gave me a copy of it when I was probably 17, 18 years old. That's when I first started learning about these toxins. And she was one of the leading voices saying, these toxins are contaminating the waterways. She was seeing the impact in the waterways. She was a brilliant woman. Of course, as many people that are visionaries, they're getting truthful information out. She wasn't shown much respect. Now she's getting, unfortunately, the respect she deserves. She deserved years ago. But nonetheless, Rachel Carson is considered one of the leading voices when it comes to environmental, the toxins impacting the environment. Which, of course, if they're impacting the environment, we're part of the environment.
Right.
So that's a general overview. Again, there's thousands of these products that have been identified. And, when I look at something as simple as, somebody buys their child a birthday cake. And the birthday cake is cool with whatever they put on it and all the decorations and whatever it is. And they've got red frosting and blue frosting and green frosting and purple frosting. People need to realize the majority of those artificial colors are coming from petroleum. Same as many artificial flavors. They're coming from petroleum. So we have millions of people that are eating, breathing, drinking petro derivatives every day of their life, and they're being stored. And of course, many of them have clearly been linked to as carcinogens. They're identified as carcinogens, and they're coming into our body, and we're storing them. So it's a big deal to me. It's a serious issue. Western medicine never talks about it, which of course they're in the business of sickness. And we're teaching people, flip the coin over. Get into, focus on wellness. Focus on what you're able to do to protect your health, especially in modern times. And,
these toxins that are in so many of our products,
yes.
Are they on the label? Are they on labels? And what do we look for? Because, when I hear you speak, this scares the heck out of me. With my kids being, 20 and 22, and, I'm just got them on this path over the last couple of years. They got a long way to go. They're eventually going to have kids. I want to know a lot of things. I mean, I get angry. If we know that a lot of these products contain carcinogens, why would our government allow these products to be consumed by everyday people, by us, by anybody, or even pets?
Well, that's the question that a lot of more people are starting to ask. I mean, all, they recognize these toxins. Like I was looking at some sites about from the EPA. A lot of these sites recognize these things as toxins. They try to make light of them. They're trying to say that some of these toxins are natural occurring, but they're not talking about the majority are being synthesis. They're synthetic chemicals. Now, here's the thing with many of the petrotoxins. What we know that they're doing when they're being released into the environment, or when we're eating them, or however they're coming into the body, whether we're eating them, breathing them, whatever, they're mimicking the human estrogen molecule. And this is a serious issue. They are known as estrogen mimicking hormones. And the issue with that is this, and this is a whole different conversation, but it's all part and parcel of it. We just don't have enough time to get into this side of it. But from a human health standpoint, in fact, Dr. Lee was one of the first doctors to talk. Now, I always tell people, forget the title of the book. What he's talking about is the impact of man-made synthetic estrogen and how it's disrupting our health, because we're only meant to have a little bit of estrogenic activity in the human body. While here we're being hit with estrogen mimicking activity every single day of our life, and it's storing throughout the course of our life. And we're seeing it in a serious way. We have, as I always say, we have a lot of docs that refer to us. Very grateful that they do. I'm grateful they trust our guidance. Many of them come to us for their own health issues, but nonetheless, when doctors are, I appreciate that they're sending people in, because here's an example. This was several years ago. This was probably 12, 15 years ago. We had a doc that sent a family. Their daughter was only 6 years old. She was developing. She was starting her cycle. She was developing breast. She was 6.
Mm.
And
wow.
I'm thank God the doctor didn't just put her on a bunch of different drugs and say, let's see what we can do. He told the family, go see Claudia. I'm sure there's things that can help. And we did help. And we've helped many children since then. We're having young boys that are being brought to us. They're developing breasts. Men are coming in with hot, night sweats and hot flashes and breast tenderness, along with all the women that we've been guiding all these many years with these issues. So I've been saying for years, what we're witnessing in regard to an estrogenic impact to human health, this is not a gender issue. This is an environmental issue. And so after all these years and talking to probably thousands of people at this point about Petro-Toxins, of course, like everything, we're learning more as we go. They're identifying, they're doing more research on things. And, back to your question, why aren't the public officials doing something about all these toxins? They're well known, they're well studied, they've been around for years. Why are they still in the marketplace? Well, everyone unfortunately recognizes it goes back to big business. It's business. It's money.
Oil is big money.
Well,
is big money, and then when people get sick because they've been consuming and ingesting petrotoxins, they get sick. Getting sick is big money.
Getting sick, yes.
They don't want to upset the way it's been rolling for decades. But it's people like you and people like me and people that are watching and listening, like Rose. Thank you for your comments, Rose. We got to take a stand, and
exactly.
I want better labels. I want labeled, all products labeled with everything, so I can make the right choice. I get the feeling that a lot of these forever chemicals are not on the labels, are they?
Well, they are in a lot of products. I mean, if you look at a bottle of shampoo, you'll see parabens on it, unless you're shopping at a store like ours where we don't want parabens on our shelves. We go out of our way to make sure that the products we're stocking are paraben free, phthalate free, turmeric 3. I mean, there's all the, you've got nail polish has chemicals, all of it. And when I see these young children that people are, buying them perfume and cologne and they're wearing it and they're 8 years old, it's like, no, you gotta learn, you gotta understand. All that we're doing is harming our children. So for years, my personal conclusion after all these years of dealing with this is it's got to come from the heart of the public. It's got to come from the willingness of the public to learn and then to take the step to purchase different products. So that's where we start, because I've been given a class on how to help protect ourselves from Petro-Toxins and all these things for many, many years. And that's, we teach people we can't change the world around us. We have to find where our power is. And our power in all of modern times is to make a choice to start purchasing different products that we use in our home. Buying safe cleaning products.
It's funny you bring that up, because I just ran out of my men's cologne, and it dawned on me before we even had this podcast. I'm like, okay, I know I don't even have to look that this obsession for men smells nice. My wife likes it. It's got to be packed with Petro-Toxins. So where do I go? Because I called you. I said, do you guys have men's cologne? She said, absolutely. So I went in, and you carry a couple different scents.
Yeah.
And I've been on it for like 2 weeks now. It smells wonderful, and I'm
Good.
not polluting my body, because you spray it on your skin. It's going to get into your blood. It's going to affect you. So here's my question, because man, we're really rolling here and you haven't showed a single product.
I know, we've got products to show.
So let me ask you this. We all have forever chemicals in our bodies. Are there certain products we can take? I mean, if they're forever, that means they're not going away. Is there any products that you have that will help us fight through some of the fatigue or nausea or whatever we're dealing with?
Well, remember, and this is why this is a big conversation. 4 or 5 years ago, I was at a conference. It was about environmental toxins, and it was a great conference, and I'm hoping to go again. There were probably 700, 800 people at this conference. It was a 3-day event. There were naturopaths, there were chiropractors, there were a few docs, medical docs there. And the speakers were brilliant, brilliant researchers. And every speaker was talking about all the different impact of how these chemicals are impacting human health. And it's not a pleasant conversation. However, so at any rate, when we talk about these chemicals, we have to talk about, again, where's our power? So our power is in changing products, changing food, eating dairy that is hormone free, eating meat that is hormone free. I mean, it's all these things. I'll tell you a biggie. A lot of people love burning candles in their home. Well, they're all low. And if they're a paraffin candle, and there's also soy oil candles now. Soy is estrogenic, so I'm not personally a fan of soy oil, soy-based candles. But, you've got all these people burning these, synthetic scents in their home. They're breathing them in. They're all from petroleum. So here's the thing. As they're storing in the body, what they're doing, they're disrupting a very important system in our body. We've talked about the endocrine system before. And the endocrine system, I mean, this is a conversation on its own. The endocrine system are all the glands and the organs that are producing hormones that are, the hormones are talking to each other. That's how the body is trying to keep everything in balance. So the hormones are getting thrown off because the Petro-Toxins are mimicking estrogen. They're coming into the body, and now every single day, the liver and the endocrine system have to deal with all this stuff. And we know very clearly through research that many of the toxins are really creating thyroid imbalances. So they're affecting the whole endocrine system. And remember, the endocrine system is like a football team. It's a team. It works together. And if one part of it is not doing its job because it's not capable of, it affects the whole team, which then affects the endocrine system, affects the neurotransmitters, how people think. It affects the immune system, how people feel. So it's all these things. So let's get into a few, because we're the time is
We're
flying,
20
isn't
minutes
it?
in, girl.
Right. So
You got 10 minutes to show
all
us
right.
some
So
products.
here's a few things. This is one of the first products, and we've talked about this product before on the show. And anyone that's been to the store, we have, many fronts of it because we have so many, hundreds and hundreds of people on this product. This is one of the first products I was introduced to. I don't even know. I should call Source Natural and ask them what year they made this product. I read the research. I literally ordered it the next day. Here is a simple understanding of what calcium deglucarate is doing. Calcium deglucarate, it's what we call a binder. Calcium deglucarate is naturally occurring in the human body. D-glucuric acid, naturally occurring in the human body. So this is a wonderful, very safe product and years of research on it. In fact, I was going to show one of my books. Right in front of me, right here. I've shown this book before, A Nutrient Against Cancer. And what it says, D-glucarate helps remove. Can you see what it says? Toxins and carcinogens, it helps remove. So this product has the ability through one of the detox phases. There's 3 detox phases. We're not going to get into that right now, but one of the detox phases that is extremely important is the one that allows the toxins to actually come out of the body. That's what this product does. So this is a binder for petroderivatives that are being stored in the body and causing disruption, hot flashes, night sweats. We know that many, the estrogenic-based cancers, they're mainly breast, prostate, colon. We know that they're being fed. And if you look, go to PubMed. I always say, go to PubMed. But there's some very good articles. I've been, I always look at different sites to see who's saying what about what. So, a lot of places are recognizing these chemicals are toxic, but these are the things we can help do with it. So again, lots of research. And in these little books that we sell, I love these little books. In the back is all this research reference, like 3 pages of research. So calcium deglucarate, wonderful product. This is a tablet. We also, Now Foods makes a capsule. Not everybody wants a tablet. And, this original product suggested 6 a day, 2-3 times a day with food. That's what it says on the label. Now suggests, I forget what they suggest, 1-3 times a day. But, people find the level that they need, but
Right.
It's quite incredible. After all these years, people will come back and say they're feeling better. All these symptoms improve. So
if you were over here right now, that would go from your pile over to my pile. So put that at the front desk with the other one you have for me, will you? Because I'm coming in tomorrow.
And I've taken deglucarate since it came on the market. We have customers that literally have taken it every day for the 20 some years we've been selling it. They will continue to take it. And this is what I want to remind everybody. We're all being exposed. But there's millions of people going to work every day in concentrated exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Factories, whatever, painters, carpet layers, mechanics. We have a lot of mechanics that are on calcium deglucarate, a lot of people in the industry on calcium deglucarate. So it's a very, very important tool for your natural health toolbox. Now, I want to real quickly, there's a couple other. Oh, and life extension, I brought this. This is also a capsule, but it's only 200 milligrams, so we use it for children. It's a smaller capsule, and we use it for children. And deglucarate helps to bring these toxins. You dump them mainly through the urine. So I always tell people, if down the road, 2, 3, 4 weeks, you get some weird odor in your urine, don't freak out. It's because it's bringing these toxins out. So
wait a minute. So I've noticed that over the last couple of months that is happening. So that's a good thing.
Well, I mean, some things, like when people eat asparagus, it'll change the odor
Right.
of their urine. So
Right.
some, yes, but it's how the body is getting rid of things. Yes.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. What else do you have?
Okay. Next, I'm going to do. So I'm going to keep this simple because this is an episode of itself. These are two products, wonderful products. These are the phytonutrients that come from cruciferous veggies: broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and they go in when we eat. Let's say we eat broccoli. In order to release this, we have to chew it, or we have to chop it, or we have to slightly cook it. That's what releases these phytonutrients. Once they're in the body, they convert to this. Okay.
Oh.
So there's a lot of companies. Some say indoles are better to use. Some say dim is better to use. I personally just encourage people to use them, because what these products are doing, and again, a lot of research on the indoles, and they're finding with dim that they're very protective to breast tissue. So we have a lot of women coming in for these products, and one of the products that I forgot to bring, I don't have it with me, but you can find the products that we're talking about all in one thing, all in one capsule. So, over the years, these products came out from individual companies. It was one product. Now the companies are coming out with blends. So a lot of people want to do the blend. So,
well, I like that. I like a multivitamin kind of thing. You got everything in one capsule.
So yes,
that's what I want.
Yeah, and I meant to grab a bottle. I actually have one in the cabinet. I'm not going to get up and get it at the moment, but
leave
now
that one at the front for me, then, if you would.
Now, Life Extension makes, this is a great product. This is called Triple Action Cruciferous Veggies. I really like this product. They have both dim and indoles right in the same product, with broccoli and Brussels sprouts and whatever else they put in here. So it's a nice formula. So now the last thing I want to talk about, where are we at? Okay. So this is activated broccoli. Again, all these beautiful, remember, phytonutrients. There's thousands of them, and nature put them in our food to help protect our health. So activated broccoli, this is another, this particular one, I don't know if you can see this on the label, but wait a minute, let me see if I can find this here. See, it says sulforaphane. See that word, sulforaphane? Yes,
I do.
That's another compound of phytonutrients. And the broccoli sulforaphane, again, a lot of research going on this. When I was at that environmental conference, there was a whole lecture just on sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is helping to protect the cells from carcinogens. So deglucarate is pulling it out. Sulforaphane is protecting the cells from carcinogenic activity. And then you've got the dim and the indoles that are helping to protect, they work in the liver. They're helping to protect the liver. They're helping the liver to deal. Remember, everything comes into the body. The liver has to deal with it. So the indoles are helping to support the liver's ability to do what it does. Then you've got the sulforaphane that's helping to protect the cellular membrane from carcinogens. And then you have the deglucarate that's actually bringing it out of the body. So those are the three products I wanted to go over today. And just remind everybody, do what you can in baby steps. I was reading an article earlier. They were talking about the atrazines and the percolates, which are the jet fuel, and how it's all in the food. It's in the food. It's become integrated because when I was at that conference, there was a researcher. It was an amazing presentation. He actually created a lens that after it rains, the lens picks up the Petro-Toxins sticking to the trees, the leaves, the grass, everywhere.
Your car.
Right, exactly. Because remember, they are fat soluble. Once they're in us, they are stored. They're stored everywhere. So the best we can do is learn how to, where our power is in our home, by changing out products. Like you got rid of the commercial cologne. Bravo. Good for you. If everybody would do this, if more people would do this, we will see better health and less debt on this country paying for all the sick people. So by changing what we're eating, and we have a lot of people that come in, a lot of moms looking for natural food colors, which we carry. There's some great products out there. They're made from, they're made from real things, turmeric, whatever. They're deriving the color from nature rather than petro. So this is it seems like a small step, but it's a big deal. Because you look at what kids, look at when kids are in school, how many birthdays do they celebrate throughout the year?
And you got to make brownies or cupcakes,
and they're putting all that fancy, the candy and the frosting. And I just want to always remind everybody before we go, the brain starts in the gut.
In the gut.
Please remember that. The immune system, the brain, the endocrine system all starts in the gut. So whatever we put in it
affects everything else.
Exactly.
I don't know if you saw this. This came out last Thursday, research. Those paper eco-friendly straws? As a matter of fact, some cities, I think Los Angeles, San Fran, maybe even the whole state of California, said no more plastic straws. Every restaurant, anybody who has to go, convenience stores, whatever, Slurpees.
Yes.
All the plastic straws got to go away. You have to use these eco-friendly paper straws. And now they've really tested the straws. And you know what they're finding out? What they found out?
Yes.
There's toxins, carcinogens in those straws. The only straws that didn't test for any kind of toxins were stainless steel.
Right.
And no one is going to give you a stainless steel straw when you go get whatever beverage you're getting at Mickey D's. That's crazy.
We actually sell stainless steel straws, just so you know.
It's good to use them, buy them for yourself. You can wash them and all that, but you're not going to get those at, I went to the golf course yesterday and I played golf and I got a water and there's a plastic straw in there. So you're getting toxins through that straw.
Right.
All right. Next week, next Tuesday, 1:00. What are we doing? Do you know?
We're going to be talking with Darren Landis. He's the owner of, where's my, I'm looking for my calendar. Oh, there it is. There's my handy calendar.
Mine's right here on my phone. I don't have to look far.
So we're going to be talking with Darren Landis. He is the owner of a great company called Hyalogic. Hyalogic produces some great products, and we're going to talk about hyaluronic acid, which is natural occurring in the human body, and they make some great products. Hyaluronic acid helps with a lot of things, moisturizing the skin and the eyes and different things. So they make some very nice products. So we're going to learn about hyaluronic acid next week.
All right. Rose says it best in the comment section. Eat fresh, take vitamins, shop at Claudia's. God bless, and thank you both for keeping the public informed. Thank you, Rose. Very kind.
Thank you. And remember, everybody, there's cool health food stores all over this country. And that's where the knowledge is. That's where the heart is. That's where the education is. That's where the care is. So check out your local health food stores in your neck of the wood. And
or just drive over to Claudia's because she's awesome. I want them all coming to your place.
Well,
all right,
thanks,
Claudia. Just like always, I am giving you the last word.
No, thank you. As always, what do I always say? I just remind everybody: keep the faith, man. Keep the faith. There's a lot of reasons it can be easy to lose faith, but I'll tell you, I can't imagine going through life without it. So, keep the faith. Focus on your blessings. Take care of your health. This is a very loving thing that we can teach each other to do, is let's take care of our health, because it's so important. And especially for our children, when we have children when we have newborns, that they are detecting over 200 chemicals in their blood from day one, we owe our children to be healthy. We owe them more than that. So my prayer is that more people will get on board, flip over the coin and get into health and wellness. It's a beautiful thing to do. So thanks for tuning in with us, you guys, and we very much appreciate it. So many blessings to everybody. Peace.